Coming up, fun under the sun, bringing your imagination to the beach to build some of the coolest sandcastles of the summer.
I love working on sandcastles, especially with my family.
Grab your buckets and shovels. We're going on a trip to the shore. Plus, the stuff that makes us sneeze.
So every time they go to their friend's house with a cat and they just sneeze and sneeze and sneeze, that's going to be a cat allergy.
We answer your questions about allergies, why some of us react to certain animals, foods, and even flowers. Also, the funny-looking dog who's stealing hearts. We'll tell you about the big contest he just won. And we've got this week's pop quiz, a surprising fact about the Declaration of Independence. Finally, Olympic excitement, a sneak peek at Team USA's new outfits, and the torch now lighting the way to this month's games.
This is NBC Nightly News Kids Edition.
Welcome back to Nightly News Kids Edition. I'm Dylan Dreyer. It's so great to be with you. I'm so excited about our stories today, including one about the Google Doodle. That's a funny name for sure, but you've probably seen them online. Today, I'm talking to someone who actually created one.
The dinner table and food have always been a place for us to come together and to laugh and to cry and to just spend a lot of time with each other. And so that's always been something that's really significant in my family.
We'll talk to her about her inspiration and the special story her Google Doodle tells about family. And we just love July 4th, a time for family, friends, yummy food, and fireworks. It's an American holiday rich in tradition with an important lesson about the history of our nation. When it comes to holidays, July 4th is hard to miss. But have you ever stopped to think what the celebration is all about?
Hi, it's Brandon from New Jersey. Why are there fireworks on the 4th of July?
Hi, my name is Leo. Why do we have fireworks on the 4th of July?
July 4th is how we celebrate our country's birthday. America's founders declaring independence from Great Britain because they didn't want to live under the British king and laws they thought were unfair to them. One of the founding fathers, John Adams, wrote that the day should be celebrated with fireworks. And the first Independence Day fireworks were set off July 4th, 1777. Each year, Americans of all ages enjoy fireworks displays across the country.
Hi, my name is Cece. I'm from Bedminster. Why do we barbecue on the 4th of July?
Barbecues are just another way we mark the occasion. It's estimated Americans will eat 150 million hot dogs on July 4th. That's enough to stretch from Washington, D.C. to Los Angeles more than 5 times.
The 4th of July is a time where friends and family all over America come together to celebrate America's independence from the British rule, but also to recognize that July 4th was not independence for everyone in America. The Declaration of Independence, which left out, I believe, enslaved people at the time. I always like to honor the men and women who fought in the American Revolution, who were still in chains. And I'm like, wow, to acknowledge and research and learn about men and women who fought for America, even though they weren't free yet. Kids today should continue to hold our country, America, accountable to the Declaration of Independence. They should, in their communities, make sure equality and justice for all is being shown in their communities, in their schools. The Declaration of Independence is for all of us. It applies to everyone today, and we can celebrate that. We can commemorate this day knowing that in our nation, we are holding everyone accountable to this.
Happy birthday, America, and happy 4th to you. And sticking with our July 4th theme, here's today's pop quiz. The question this week, true or false? The Declaration of Independence was not actually signed on July 4th, 1776. I'll give you a few seconds to think about it. Okay, time's up. The answer is true. The Declaration of Independence was not signed on July 4th, 1776. It was ratified on July 2nd, formally adopted by the Continental Congress on July 4th. But most of the signatories did not sign the document until August of 1776. Well, we've got 8.5 billion reasons why you should watch our next story. That's how many people search on Google every day. And if you look carefully, you'll notice there are some really cool Google doodles that often pop up on that search bar, all with fascinating stories. Today, I'm talking with someone who actually created her own Google doodle and won a contest to get her doodle online. Her name is Maisie Derlega, and her doodle is all about family dinners. And she is here with us right now. Maisie, hi.
Hi, it's nice to talk to you.
Oh, it's so nice to talk to you too, especially because I love that the theme this year was my wish for the next 25 years. And then you came up with this family design. Tell us how you decided upon this.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to college next year, and so I was thinking a lot about the things in my life that were changing. But there's also a lot of things that I wish would stay the same, and that includes these Sunday dinners I have with my family every year. So as I move away, when I come back to visit, I really hope that that's something that stays a constant in my life. And so that's my wish for the next 25 years.
That's so great. What makes Sunday dinners so special at your house? How do they work?
Well, my dad's a chef, and so food has always been a place for us to kind of come. The dinner table and food have always been a place for us to come together and to laugh and to cry and to just spend a lot of time with each other. And so that's always been something that's really significant in my family, I would say, and that's why it was something that came to mind so easily when coming up with the ideas for this prompt.
I love that. Now, if you look at the hands in your artwork, you can tell that everyone at the table is pretty diverse. Why did you want to incorporate that?
I think that the concept of coming together with your loved ones is a universal. It's applicable to everyone, and I think, no matter who you are, I wanted them to resonate with the idea.
I love that. All right, so what was your reaction when you found out? Was anybody around you when you first learned that you won?
Yeah, my family was there, my mom and my dad and my brother. And I was so shocked and so excited and so honored. I mean, it was really, really surreal.
I bet it was. And how special to have your family there with you when you found out. Congratulations are in order. I know you just graduated from high school last week. So talk to us about college. What are your plans? What are you going to major in?
So I'm going to go to the University of Michigan, and I will be studying art and design there.
Yay, congratulations.
Thank you.
So what do you want to do after college? I know we're kind of rushing things along for you, but where do you see yourself after you graduate from college?
I think that all of my ideas are subject to change, but I would really like to work as an editorial illustrator for some sort of news network. I really like the idea of going into the illustration and graphic design field.
I love that. And now you have the connection. I know you were on the Today Show last week, and now you're on Nightly News Kids edition. So I think news will be a perfect fit for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maisie, for talking with us. It was so great to chat with you, and good luck.
And thank you so much for having me.
There's a lot of excitement building ahead of the Summer Olympics in Paris, now just weeks away. And that famous Olympic torch is getting a little bit closer to the City of Lights. The relay on an epic journey throughout France before this symbol of peace ends up in Paris just before the games begin. And take a look at this, a sneak peek at what Team USA will be wearing for the opening and closing ceremonies. They're designed by Ralph Lauren and feature navy blazers with striped shirts and blue jeans. And for the closing ceremonies in August, something a little sportier, white moto-style jackets and white jeans. And you can catch the Paris Summer Olympics right here on NBC starting July 26th. Time now for our picture of the week, and you may just fall in love. Take a look at this cutie. I want you to meet the new winner of the world's ugliest dog contest. His name is Wild Thing, and I think he's just beautiful. He's an 8-year-old Pekingese. Wild Thing got sick as a pup, and now his tongue sticks out a little bit, but he's snuggly and a great example of how being different can also be extra special. Now to our segment, What's on Your Mind? It's a place where we answer the questions you're curious about. This week, our buddy Dr. John Torres is talking about allergies and all the stuff that makes your nose so itchy you start to sneeze.
What are allergies, and why do people have it in this time anyways?
That's a great question. Allergies are a response from your immune system when something it doesn't like enters your body. Things that can cause allergies are known as allergens.
There's millions of people in the United States that have allergies. And so each of us can really be allergic to different things and have different ways that they make us feel.
Some grown-ups and kids are allergic to certain foods. Common food allergens are peanuts, milk, or fish. There are also indoor allergens like dust, cats, and dogs, and outdoor allergens including trees, grass, or weeds. Spring is a popular time for outdoor allergies to emerge because plants, trees, and grass are all growing, releasing pollen into the air. But you may also hear them referred to as seasonal allergies.
What kind of pollen makes you allergic?
Although hundreds of thousands of plant species produce pollen, only certain types affect us humans. Trees, grass, and weeds are the plants that cause most of our allergy symptoms throughout the year. And even though some plants, like flowers, do produce pollen, their type of pollen usually doesn't cause allergies in most of us. Allergens can get into your body through your mouth, nose, eyes, and skin. When your body does come into contact with an allergen, it will create antibodies to fight it, similar to how it does with a virus. Remember, antibodies? Those are our body's own special army to fight invaders. This is why so many symptoms of spring allergies overlap with symptoms of a cold or even the coronavirus. So you might get sniffles, sneezes, a headache, or even feel tired.
So when we have allergies, our body actually mistakes those things for being invaders. It's really our body just being on overdrive, thinking that it's something trying to get in.
The good news, kids, allergies are treatable. Many indoor and outdoor allergies can be treated with medicines from the drugstore. But people with severe allergies or food allergies may need to carry around an EpiPen, which is an emergency medicine they can take if they come into contact with one of their allergens.
Some people, their allergies will be very obvious. So every time they go to their friend's house with a cat and they just sneeze and sneeze and sneeze, that's going to be a cat allergy. But others people's aren't as obvious. And so if you're worried or concerned and you're just stuffy, sneezing, and have itchy eyes a lot, you can go see your doctor and they can better evaluate.
How do you know if it's allergies or a virus such as the common cold or COVID-19? Fevers, chills, and body aches are usually symptoms of viruses like COVID-19, while allergies can cause watery eyes and itchiness. Allergy season is longer and stronger than before because of all the climate changes that we're going through. That means that some of you that have never had allergies before might end up noticing watery, itchy eyes, you're sneezing, and you have a runny nose. So this year, when you come back in from playing outside, make sure that you wash off your face, you change your clothes, and maybe even rinse your hair to get rid of all that pollen.
So interesting. Thanks for that, Dr. John. Well, summer means traveling, and so many of us head to our nation's beautiful national parks, places like the Grand Canyon or Yellowstone. But this year, there's a new national park with a powerful message about the past. Our friend Emily Aketa has the story.
This is pretty high brush.
For the first time, Hideko Hamamoto is returning to her birthplace, Amache, a Japanese incarceration camp in rural Colorado.
120,000 Japanese and Japanese Americans within 4 months were put into barracks. I mean, how does that happen?
To understand how and why, we have to go back in time. During World War II, families like Hideko's were taken from their homes and forced onto buses and trains with only what they could carry. They were sent to live in prison-like conditions. We know this can sound scary, and it was for many families. You see, during World War II, Japanese Americans were seen as a security threat in the United States for merely looking like the enemy, which at the time was Japan. But the U.S. government was wrong. Japanese Americans were innocent. And now Amache is opening a new chapter in its history, hoping to educate the public. For decades, survivors like Hideko and Bob Fuchigami have hoped for Amache to become a national historic site.
Is this what you would sleep on?
Yeah. Each person was given a cot.
Even testifying before Congress.
Mess halls, toilets, showers were communal. No privacy.
1, 2.
This year, those efforts were officially realized. Amache formally became one of America's newest national parks, something Bob, now 94, thought he wouldn't live to witness.
It's one thing to talk about it, it's another to actually be on the grounds, think about being placed there.
Today, the foundations of the old barracks with rooms for entire families remain in Grenada, Colorado.
You're right where your family's barrack was. That's crazy.
Along with details from daily life within barbed wire, marbles, trees, tin cans.
So they've punched holes in the bottom, maybe to make some sort of like a sprinkler or maybe like a flower pot, right, where you have drainage.
Photos show a young Hideko playing with a tin can turned toy.
Enduring the unthinkable with dignity. I think that's what we did. That's what they did.
Now she's walking those grounds again alongside her daughter and granddaughter.
They were born here, they were citizens. They should have been protected by the government, who instead incarcerated them.
Through the University of Denver's Amache Research Project, Tallene Sample helped survey where her grandmother once lived, searching for notable fragments left behind 80 years ago.
What was that like emotionally?
I think it was a little bit shocking. My grandma came to my 4th grade class and she would show us pictures, but the pictures were all black and white, so it seemed just kind of a different world and a different era. And so I think that being here and just kind of seeing it in color, seeing it how it exists, kind of reminded me of the connection that it has to the present and to who I really am. And it's not just some kind of isolated, separate era.
What do you see as the importance of actually having this as a national historic site?
I think as a reminder of what happened, hopefully it'll never happen again. They were doing the memorial service, and there was a breeze coming through. And it was almost as if they were saying, well, thank you for being here, and don't let this happen again. It's important to remember.
Shining a light on a dark past to learn and grow.
Thanks to our friend Emily Aketa for that important story. Well, beyond our nation's national parks, the beach is another popular place to visit this summer. It's somewhere you can spend hours making the most fantastic creations with not much more than a little sand and lots of imagination. Our pal Erin McLaughlin takes us down the shore for more on how to spend the day making sandcastles.
A day at the beach typically includes sun, surf, and this.
When I go to the beach, I like to build sandcastles. I'm building a sandcastle with my cousins.
Building sandcastles is a popular summer tradition.
Awesome. I love working on sandcastles, especially with my family.
Spending time together and making memories at the beach all summer.
It feels amazing. It's super fun and it's cool to see other people's what they make.
So how can you build your own sand sculpture or sandcastle worthy of a king and queen? We asked an expert.
Start with a big pile, dig a hole down the center, get some ocean water, dump it in. Now you got a big pile. The first thing is to fill a bucket up with sand and get it packed real tight. You need some kind of form. And we're gonna just do all this with just a bucket and a shovel. So you don't need to take a lot of toys to the beach. This is plenty. So just pick it up, put it in there, punch it down as hard as you can. Pack it down real hard with your hand. When it's all done, you want it to look like that. So now, try and lift the bucket off. Perfect. Grab your shovel, everybody got a shovel. We're gonna put a little plus sign on top of the tower. Think of that as a piece of pie, and everybody wants to get the same size piece of pie. So you want to just draw a line there and a line there so that it's 4 even pieces. There you go. So now we got a plus sign on top. The reason is we want to remember where the middle is as we start carving sand away. We want to go at an angle and put a point on top of that bucket we turned over. And we're going to do that on all 4 sides. We get a little lower, put another tower, join them together like we did here with some sand to make a roof, and just work your way down into the pile. My suggestion for kids, think about how long can you sit still and do something. If you make a pile this big, it would take me probably a whole day to turn this into a castle. So if you go to the beach, make a pile based on how long you want to spend. The other thing, look at the tide line. The best time to make a sandcastle is when the tide is high and it's going out. So ask the lifeguard, ask your mom to get her phone out and check the tide. If it's high tide and it's going out, you've got all day to carve before the tide comes in to wreck your work. If it's already low tide coming in, then you want to get a little bit behind where the tide line is. And that's usually where the sand gets from being real soft, from where the tide's coming in, to where it's kind of fluffy. Back up a couple feet and then you know the tide won't wreck your work. That's about it. Work your way down the pile and slow down.
So next time you hit the beach, don't forget to pack a shovel, a bucket, and your imagination.
Thanks, Erin. I love making sandcastles. Well, that's going to do it for us. Parents, just a reminder, if your child has a question about any topic in the news, email a video to us at NightlyNewsKids@NBCUni.com, and we'll try to answer them in an upcoming episode. You can also follow us on Instagram @NightlyKids. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, take care of yourself and each other.